Hi, Jill. This is Walter, Kitchen Tune-Up. How you
Yes,
doing?
good. How are you?
Good, good. Glad we're able to connect. But for the most
Absolutely.
part, just want to go ahead and say, well, thank you for allowing this time and to let you know what the purpose of today's call is going to be about. We want to go
Okay.
ahead and ask you a couple questions based on what we saw on the resume on Indeed. We'll also tell you about the company, about the position, kind of what we're looking for. Ask you a couple questions based on what you're looking for. What would you be needing in your next role? But the plan is if everything aligns mutually, we can discuss next steps moving forward.
Okay.
With that being said, Jill, we want to go and just start off by asking, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have been in the building materials industry since 1999 and enjoy it very much. Uh, in April, the job that I was at with Ready Carpet, it, I all of the jobs. Let me back up for a sec. From Haynes, worked my tail off building that division in the commercial area. Nobody had been in Atlanta for almost 3 years. We were three people in the commercial department, and we all worked very hard and ended up with 26 people. They built a 500,000 square foot warehouse, which I think the money was not all there to support it. So they merged with a company in Pennsylvania called Belknap, and the stock split 49, 51, 51 in Haynes' favor. That quickly changed to 51 in Belknap's favor. The first thing they did is disband the commercial department in a whole. It's a long-term sale. It is, our salaries are high, and that was the quickest way to cut fat.
Mhm.
And then they ended up laying a total of 160 people off.
Wow.
Then I found the job with Briggs, which was a 55-year-old personally held company. It was remote. I was doing project management. Really enjoyed it. Long story short, we went bankrupt. We got a call, say take a extra long day. It's on us. Kind of felt like we were going to be sold because I was doing the project management, so I knew the inventory was lean and mean. I had to keep switching products, to keep the sale. And yeah, it was just a flat out bankruptcy, which was such a shame. So when I went to Ready Carpet, I really fell in love with the businessman or the GM and the salespeople. Well, lesson learned. When my husband and I were talking it over, I said, you have two things in this world that you can't lose: your reputation and your morals. And I said, I dread going to work every day. I can't even wear contacts, and I wanted to stick a needle in my eye because there was no way. We did not have defined territories. There was no way to look it up in the antiquated computer system to see if someone was already working on that account or had that account. So time management is an essence of sales. So I would drive 45 minutes to an appointment and have all my appointments around there, and at least half of them were worth nothing because one of our reps was working on it or had it. That being said, I decided to leave, and I was looking for a job, and my husband came in and said, I just passed out and threw up. He was white as a ghost, sweating profusely. 34 minutes later, he died.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Wow. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, every time I have to, it's like, last couple of days have been really bad. But to make it even worse, since I wasn't working, his life insurance had gotten up to $600 a month. Paid on it for 30 years. It was a term. The term ran out, and so it went up. And I said, honey, I'm going to have to let it lapse. 4 months before he passed away, I let his $300,000 life insurance lapse. So a lot of things have changed in my life in the last few months, to say the least. So I'm back in, the game looking for a job.
Yeah. But like you said, just trying to stay like I said, as optimistic, as positive as you can. Been in the sales industry for a long time, and would you say this is something you feel you want to kind of get back into? Something similar to being
sales is the only thing I know how to do. Not the only thing. The only thing I really truly enjoy doing, because I genuinely care about people and getting to know people and doing consultative selling is one of my specialties, to guide them and hear what they want, and if it's really not the right fit, gently guide them into here's the pros and cons, and so they're happy with everything in the long haul.
Yeah, kind of that consultative sales approach, in a sense. Get to know them, what their needs are. Build that trust with them. Let them know that you're at the end of the day, you want to help them out with what, in this case, in this industry, whether it's remodeling, whether it's kitchen tune-ups, or in your previous experience from, I believe it was from Ambassador, the sales consultant role. That's a similar role, similar to that. And that's kind of what we're looking for. Someone to be able to, of course, have great customer service experience, be organized, be detailed, but for the most part, be able to like what they do. Because at the end of the day, I think it was one of the things you mentioned earlier. When you don't like something, when you feel that this is not the place, maybe it's you like what you do, but maybe at that specific job or location is not working out, then it's never going to work out. So
I agree completely. That's why I ended up putting in my notice. It wasn't going to get any better. And if I found out I was the 15th person to leave that position in 6 years, and they went through 5 management people in 6 years, general managers. So it wasn't just a me thing.
Yeah. And personally, as I've done interviews, I've seen, I've heard things like that where they say just kind of sometimes you try to make the best of a situation, but in reality, it's something more internal that needs to be addressed. But
if they're not going to fix the structure of the company, you could throw people at it all day long. It's not going to fix it.
Yeah, completely agree. With that being said, what I'm going to go ahead and do now, Jill, is I'll ask you a couple questions just kind of based on to find out what you're looking for, since we're kind of talking on the subject of when it comes to a company, what is it that you look for? Culture, atmosphere, things like that.
I look for a team atmosphere, very much so, and I've always had really good relationships with my managers. So, if you run into a situation where you're trying to do something and you're not making progress, I've always had a great relationship with the other teammates where I can call and say, hey, I've done this, this, and this, and this. What would you do different? Because you can kind of get in a rut on your strategies going places. And sometimes it's just a simple suggestion from another rep that you would, where you're in your little box thinking about things and it just clicks. Vice versa. If somebody calls me, I'm always willing to help. So very much I love the team atmosphere, spirit, supportive, coachable. I'm not one of these that need to be micromanaged. If it's a micromanagement position, then they don't trust who they've hired, then that's not right either.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. You got to trust who you hire to do their job.
Yeah, there's a time where maybe certain things might need to be addressed, certain things may be kind of explained a little more in detail. But for the most part, yeah, you have to trust them. You have to kind of go out there and you hire someone based on their experience, what they've gained through their career. So that's why we feel that you don't really need to micromanage, and we feel that we shouldn't have to.
Sorry. Ever since my husband passed, he was the alpha, and they look at me like I'm nothing.
Get
They
excited.
don't listen to me at all. I'm gonna go out in the garage. Hang on.
Sure.
Okay.
But just like you said, just kind of getting to know, team atmosphere, everybody kind of, working together. Even though it's still a sales role, it's good to kind of have that good work atmosphere. Everyone's kind of pushing for each other. Sometimes it can be a little, friendly competition in a sense. But at the end of the day, to go about and have conversations. How your day went. I had to deal with this customer. How would you handle that situation? Things like that. So it makes it a better workplace where everybody's kind of being bought in.
Absolutely.
So, with that being said, in regards to, we always ask timeline. Holidays are coming up, the end of the year. I guess the best way we can give you our timeline is we want to find someone sooner rather than later, but we understand due to the timeline now. We don't want to rush into it, with the candidate, but we would say probably if we find the candidate before the holidays, we'll go ahead and offer the position. But realistically, we're kind of looking to start the New Year's. Is that something that aligns with what you look for?
Yes, absolutely. Now, is this a commission-only position?
The position itself is going to go into commission space, yes. One second, because we were thinking about starting off where you kind of have the base salary, and then, which is, I guess the best way to explain it, it's where you kind of have a certain amount the first 90 days to kind of go through the onboarding, the transition period, and then it goes into commission base.
And how long is the salary during that process, the beginning process?
As of right now, it's set up for the first 3 months for 90 days. And then from there, it goes into commission-based pay.
Mm-hmm.
And
is this like where you're out cold calling, looking for all of your appointments?
For the most part, it is going to be able to, yes, have referrals, would be some cold call, but at the same time, be able to work with some of the company leads as well.
Okay.
With that being said, there is going to be, I guess the best way to put it, and this can be, of course, discussed a little more details move forward, an incentive for a first call closed commission where you'll get a higher percentage on that. I know that was one of the things that was talked about. And then in regards to the leads.
Okay.
Yes, we'd be able to go ahead and market to get their own leads, so have some marketing experience. And then here we go. So it's what's called a forgivable draw. What it is, it's a forgivable draw of $4,167 per month for the first 3 months. Again, that kind of goes for the onboarding, coaching, and the probation period. And then after that, would receive a commission percentage off of their sales.
Okay.
It'll also include a company vehicle, a company cell phone, and either a tablet, not a laptop.
Okay.
So someone that has used CRMs or software before.
Yeah.
The system that we use is where we do everything. So kind of be able to adapt to that. That of course will be in the training, but if someone that had previous experience with similar softwares or CRMs is key. We all know that technology itself is to make things easier. As I think the wording is, they try to make these systems user friendly, but it's just like anything. It's not really hard. It's just new, and then the more you get used to it, it becomes easier.
Right. I've worked on a Salesforce for eons,
Okay.
or a version of Salesforce where they've made their own, or HubSpot I've worked on as well. But Salesforce is one of the systems I know like the back of my hand.
Can feel comfortable adapting. Oh, that's good. If I were to say 1,000 with different softwares or CRMs, that'd be on the low end. But
right,
generally have their own unique system, but for the most part, all similar in a sense.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're looking for, someone that has that experience. So we say strong, technical skills, computer communication skills is going to be important, written and verbal. As working in sales, something that that's very important. We feel in this role, organized, detailed, and very strong or driven. We like to say goal-oriented and motivated. It's going to be key itself. If I were to ask a couple of the questions on the location, I know in regards to, let's see on your resume, from Acworth, in regards to driving.
I'm really close to Kennesaw, so.
Okay, so as far as the drive itself, just kind of looking at the locations, since there's going to be a service vehicle attached to it, there would need to be we say it's one time a week. We need to go to the office in Canton. As far as the drive itself, about 40-minute drive, so would not be an issue, correct?
No, not at all.
Okay. And that's just going to be for kind of a weekly sales meeting and training that we need to be, with different sales reps in the office.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a problem.
Great. One of the final things we do ask, just kind of based on a couple of the sales questions that we want to ask. In regards to strategies that you've used to kind of close deals in home sales, can you just give me an example of those?
Oh, hang on. Let me turn off this alarm.
Sure.
Okay. I have to pick up my granddaughter at the bus stop at 2:30, so sorry.
No, we'll be done shortly.
And so you're saying the sales strategy?
Yes.
And then that's when the alarm went off. Was there more?
So actually, there's a couple questions that we asked. That was actually one of the questions that we asked as we move for the next part of the interview process. The first one was, what would you say your best sales year was?
My best sales year? I would say with Hanes, for sure, the year before they disbanded the commercial department. I had landed a 7-county school district. So within 7 counties, I had products specified in every school from kindergarten to high school. And that took me, I would say, about a 3-month sales process, which is pretty quick to land that large of a scope of work.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Next question would be, do you track your closing rate?
Yes, I do.
If you were to say,
spreadsheet and closed, I'm a color coder as well. Yellow, I'm still working on it. green, you know, about to close. So, yes.
Yes. Again, just kind of one of the things I know that was asked from the sales manager. Wanted to just to kind of ask a couple questions, and then there'll be a couple more that we'll go ahead and ask. I guess would be the second part of the interview process, which would be the next steps, which to continue, I'm going to send out what's called this Spark Hire application to your email. I just want to confirm the best email is the one that when we set up the Calendly link, jill.peters1470@gmail.com. Would you say that's the best
Correct.
email to send that out to?
Yes.
Okay. Oh. This Spark Hire application link is, I'm actually going to send out to you right now, will consist of asking you a couple more questions, which will go ahead and record your responses. I'm not sure if you've done these before. I actually it was something new for me. I had to do it myself when I started. So it'll consist of asking you about 8 questions. You'll record
Oh, I
your
have the worst
responses.
phone voice ever. It doesn't represent me at all. I sound, I'm always congested, so I sound like a nasal puss, and I'm from upstate New York. So I have the worst phone voice.
It's one of the things that we have. It's been helping us implement as we go through the candidates. But I always say just treat this like a normal interview. I know when I had to do it myself, it took me a couple tries, and that's kind of one of the benefits about it. So it's not like where you record your responses and then that's it. It gives you a chance to kind of do kind of a redo over in a sense.
You get them all again. I like it.
Yeah. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes to complete. I always say just kind of, you know, if you are going to record using a front-facing camera cell phone, keep it stationary. That way it's not handheld and moving around a lot.
Okay.
That's probably one of the best advice I can provide. No loud noises, disruptions in the background. And the best way to say is just have fun with it. I know in the beginning it kind of seemed a little, I guess awkward would probably be the word. But
right.
After you kind of go through the first question, I believe actually like interests, hobbies outside of work, just to kind of get to know a little bit on the personal side. And then a couple other questions like, you know, what would make you the best candidate for the role based on your previous experience? You know, what are your short-term, long-term goals? Things like that.
Okay.
I'm going to send that out to you right now. Give me 1 second. It does have a 48-hour expiration time. So would you say you'd be able to take care of this by Thursday around 4 o'clock your time?
I am tomorrow's Wednesday. I'm bringing the dogs to the vet in the morning. And then Thursday, I have another 8 o'clock appointment. I will do my best to get it done tomorrow, because Thursday, it would not be doable Thursday.
Just in case, because we understand the link does kind of have that 48-hour period. In case you can't complete it by then, and let's say Friday comes along, the best way is just either send me a text, or you can give me a call at this number and just say, Walter, I tried doing the Spark Hire application link. The link expired. So then I just have to resubmit it to add an additional 48 hours. I've done this before, so no worries. You understand life happens. You know, previous plans were already made, so no worries on that part. So if you don't get it completed by Thursday at 4, even a quick message. So I'll just go ahead and resubmit it, and then it'll give you an additional 48 hours, which would kind of take it over to the weekend. So sometimes most people would kind of ask for that.
Okay, that would be wonderful.
Good. With that being said, real quick, Jill, do you have when you look at on Indeed, the job description, do you have that, or would you like me to kind of email that for you? That way you kind of have for your reference.
Would you mind? I'm sure I have it somewhere, and you might connect up to the car. I believe I have it somewhere, but it would be helpful to have it.
I can send that out to you. That way, in case any other questions might arise, you know, again, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information will be there on the email. But for the most part, you know, this concludes this part of the I guess, the first part of the interview process, just kind of get to know you a
Okay.
little bit better. So thank you for that. So keep an eye out for that Spark Hire application and the job description. In case you can't or weren't able to finish that application, send me a text and I'll resubmit it.
Okay, and on the job description, will you put your cell on there, or is this your cell number?
Yes, my contact information will be there. It'll be my cell phone, so my direct number, my email, of course, and then the work number as well.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay.
Okay, I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much for your time, Jill. I do appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Have a great
Enjoy
day.
the rest of your day. You too.
Bye-bye.